What we need is a million people march by struggling Filipino taxpayers, a day of protest with a silent majority that would demand all politicians and government officials, whatever the political stripes or color they may carry, to stop pocketing our taxes borne out from our hard work by means of these pork barrel scams and other creative criminal acts. This random thought was posted on Facebook by musician Ito Rapadas, who described it as a snowballing at great speed as more than 18,000 people had already confirmed going in Luneta Park in an event published on the social networking site. Also, at least 30 government websites in the early morning of August 26, while the nation celebrates National Heroes Day, were also hacked by a Filipino activist group. The usual green has turned to white when the multitudes of Filipinos and some foreigners clamored for the abolition of the controversial pork barrel. Even though the event started without actual organizers, the online campaign evolved from combined efforts of social media personalities and organizations into small pockets of programs held at different areas in the whole country. In Davao City, more than 1,000 people showed up at Rizal Park for the Million People March. The event kept calm in a barefoot run at the Rizal front. Some of the groups who participated in the activity were the Sisters Association of Mindanao, employees excluding of Ateneo de Davao, and Assumption College. In Cagayan de Oro, an interfaith group led by anti-pork barrel advocate marched to Kiosco Cagawasan in Divisoria. What used to be a march for peace against terrorism, earlier carrying out this month due to bombings of the city, had now spooked into a march versus pork barrel and corruption in the government. In Tacloban City, individuals from the business, medical, and legal centers as well as the academe participated in the rally. Some said they learned about the activity through Facebook. In Dagupan City, only a handful of protesters gathered at the city plaza where Archbishop Socrates Villegas led a mass, but passers-by were unmindful of the quiet protest that lasted for an hour. And in Manila, despite forecasts of rain brought by Tropical Depression Nando, throngs of anti-pork barrel supporters from various sectors flocked into the famous park to call for the abolition of the Priority Development Assistance Fund with the chant, "Huwag magbaboy, makibaka." Highlights of the program were the attendance of Wanna Change, complete with a pig costume who she says was channeling Janet Lim Napoles.
Ako! Si Janet! Bariles Napoles! Ang konti nyo naman! Akala nyo ba kaya nyo ako?
Performances from musicians, and a few more words shared by different representatives of the organizations present. Tony Lopez of Manila Times on his article said the pork barrel system might be the biggest business the government has. Anthony Baliton, a political analyst in Dagupan City, remains hopeful and asks cooperation from people to help rectify the mistakes of the imperfect government.
There is no such thing as a perfect government or a perfect president. So, alam natin, pagkatapos ng termino niya, may bagong presidente, ganyan din ang gagawin sa bagong presidente. So, when will we stop? So, we just encourage mga Filipino people to cooperate with the government para ma-attain natin yung economic and political stability natin.
The Million People March was successful, and if not the first, will be one of the biggest social media spawned protests against the abuse of public funds. But in reality, the battle against the pork barrel system can be won in one day, a week, a month, or a year. For as long as the nature of the system requires a system of checks and balances, the battle is unfortunately perpetual.
Ang dasal ko lang, bangungutin sila tonight. Kawatan ng money, money, money. Ay naku, kayo ay huling, huling, huli. Mga adik sa pera, gamal sa kwalta. Tigilan nyo na ang mag-chiting-chiting, bakit kayo na ay buking-buking. Huwag galit sa pera, baka kayo makarma. Yeah.
Louis de la Vega, Pangasinan Watch.